Welcome you all for the class of regeneration ranking cycle. In this class, we are going to see differences between the basic ranking cycle and regeneration ranking cycle. What are the differences there, and what are the advantages over the ranking cycle by the regeneration cycle? Already in the previous classes, we have seen what is called steam power cycle, what is called basic ranking cycle, and we have seen the components of basic ranking cycle, and also we have gone through the working of the basic ranking cycle. In this particular class, I'm going to explain what is a regeneration cycle and what are the differences between the regeneration and basic ranking cycle, and what are the advantages of regeneration cycle over the basic ranking cycle. Now in this PPT, we can see this is the basic ranking cycle and basic components of a ranking cycle. In the basic components of a ranking cycle, we're having the boiler. Here we can see the boiler, turbine, condenser, and pump. If you see the PVTS diagrams of the basic ranking cycle, see, here we are getting the ranking cycle TS diagram, which is showing the four processes. That is 1 to 2 represent the pump work. That means it will pump the saturated product from the condenser to boiler. 2 to 3 is boiler work. In this 2 to 3, boiler will convert saturated water into the superheated steam, and that superheated steam will be supplied to the turbine. In the 3 to 4 process, that steam will expand isentropically in the turbine, and turbine will generate the shaft work output. And after the expansion, steam will go to the condenser. In the condenser, steam again converted into water in order to avoid some problems. And this will continuously go on cyclically. This is a basic Rankine cycle. In the basic Rankine cycle, the basic components are boiler, turbine, condenser, and pump. And the basic Rankine cycle consists of four processes. One is a constant volume heat addition, isothermal expansion, isentropic expansion, and isothermal compression. This is the Rankine cycle. But in this, already we have seen this Rankine cycle in the previous class only. In this class, we are going to see regeneration cycle and differences between the basic Rankine and regeneration cycle. See, this is the diagram of a regeneration cycle. In this cycle, it is also same. It is also same like a basic Rankine cycle. The components of regeneration cycle same like a basic Rankine cycle. It is having the boiler, turbine, condenser, pump. But here we are having the only one extra component, that is a regenerator. Regenerator is nothing but a heat exchanger which is designed to take heat interaction between the partially expanded steam to condenser water. I will explain here what is going to happen in the regeneration cycle. I will explain here. If you see if you see in the basic ranking cycle, in the basic ranking cycle, the the steam which is expanding through turbine will directly go to the condenser. They'll directly go to the condenser. For example, if you supplying 1 kg of steam, if you're supplying 1 kg of steam to the turbine, 1 kg of steam to the turbine, for example, if you say for the calculation say, if you're supplying 1 kg of steam to the turbine from the boiler, the 1 kg of steam expands in the turbine, and the total 1 kg will go to the total 1 kg steam will go to the condenser in the basic Rankine cycle. But in the regeneration cycle, regeneration cycle, after the partial expansion, some amount of steam, say mkg, say mkg, mkg of steam will go to the regenerator, that is nothing but heat exchanger. In this manner, in this manner, the mkg steam will go to the regenerator. Mkg steam will go to the regenerator, and after the 1 minus mkg from 1 kg mkg steam is went to the regenerator, and after the partial expansion the 1 minus mkg the 1 minus mkg steam which is there in the turbine, 1 minus mkg steam will go to the condenser. 1 minus mkg steam will go to the condenser. Here what happens when steam is going into the regenerator, when steam is going into the regenerator, in the regenerator we are having one more line. This black color line indicates, this black color line this black color line indicates this is a saturated water which is coming through the condenser. Here in the regeneration, this is a partially expanded steam. This red color line is partially expanded steam, and this black color line is saturated water. In the regenerator, both steam and saturated water interacting. When they are interacting, the steam will give some amount of heat to the water. So when it is giving heat to the water, if there is any unsaturated water which is coming out of the condenser, becomes saturated water. Finally when the water is coming out of this regenerator, it is having the saturated heat of it is having the saturated heat it is having the saturated heat. For the calculation sake, for example, if you give the notations here, in the other diagram we'll see, in the other diagram we'll see for the calculation purpose, we'll go for the other one here. In the next slide, I will explain. So, for example, we have seen what is happening in the regeneration cycle. In the regeneration cycle, what is happening? Some amount of steam is coming into the regenerator. For example, you say this is a boiler. From the boiler, we are giving steam to the turbine, and from the turbine, we are having the condenser here. In the regeneration, some amount of steam which is directly going to the regenerator. This is a regenerator here. And here the water is coming to the regenerator in this manner. The steam from the turbine directly coming into in this manner. Here we are having the one pump here. This pump will pump the saturated water into the boiler. Here, if you observe here, for example, if you send the steam with H1 enthalpy and the mass of 1 kg into the turbine, if you send 1 kg steam with H1 enthalpy, after the partial expansion, not full expansion, after the partial expansion from H1 to H2, after the partial expansion from H1 to H2, mkg of steam will go to the regenerator. This is a regenerator, and after the partial expansion, mkg of steam will go to the regenerator, and 1 minus 1 minus mkg of steam will take the expansion up to H3, and after the expansion of H1 to H3, the 1 minus mkg steam will convert into the 1 minus mkg water. After the condenser, it will be 1 minus mkg water. 1 minus mkg water. This is 1 minus mkg steam. Here, if you want to calculate the amount of M here, that is the mass of steam which is bleeded into regenerator. Now here, when the mkg of steam and the 1 minus mkg of water which is coming of the condenser interact here, the final heat of the both steams will be, HF2, that is nothing but a sensible heat of a H2. That is nothing but sensible heat of a H2 here. So now here, after the condenser, the 1 minus mkg of water is having the HF3 heat. If you see the heats here, before the turbine, the steam is having the H1 heat. After the partial expansion, the steam is having the H2 heat. After the full expansion, steam is having the H3 heat. After the condensation, steam is having the HF3 heat. And after interaction in the regeneration of steam and condensed water, the both saturated waters are having the HF2 heat. So if you want to calculate in this regeneration cycle, if you want to calculate what is the value of M, we can take one logic here. That logic is nothing but now what is happening in the regeneration cycle, in the regenerator, steam is giving heat in the regenerator and water is taking the heat. So that heat heat given by heat given by steam is equal to heat gain by heat gain by water. This is the logic. Heat given by the steam is equal to heat gain by the water. Here what is the heat given by steam? That is mkg of steam. How much heat has given? From H2 to HF2. The H2 heat becomes HF2 after the regeneration. So the difference between the H2 minus HF2 is heat given by the steam. So M into H2 minus HF2 is heat given by steam. And heat gain by water. What is the heat gain by water? What is the mass of water? That is 1 minus m is the mass of water. 1 minus m is the mass of water. And what is the heat gained by the water? HF3 to HF2. So here HF2 is the highest one. HF2 is the highest one. So that we have to write like HF2 minus HF3. This is heat gained by the water. So now here it will become, if you elaborate, this is MH2, MHF2 is equal to 1 into HF2 minus HF3 minus of M into HF2 plus of M into HF3. Here minus MHF2 and minus MHF2 will cancel, and the remaining terms are MH2 is equal to HF2 minus HF3 plus MHF3. So if you take M terms into one side, and it will become M into H2 minus HF3, and this becomes HF2 minus HF3. Now the M value will be HF2 minus HF3 by H2 minus HF3. This is the value of M. This is the value of M here. So the value of the M is, what is the amount of mass is, what is the amount of mass transferred to the regenerator here. According to the cycle, only 15% of mass is allowed. More than 15% of the steam is not allowed to the regenerator. More than 15% steam is not allowed to the regenerator here. So this is the regeneration cycle. By this, what we are doing, we are saving some amount of which is going to lost in the condenser. Okay. This is about the regeneration cycle. And The advantage of the regeneration cycle is it will increase the thermal efficiency of the it will increase the thermal efficiency of the cycle. The advantage of the regeneration cycle is it will increase the thermal efficiency of the cycle. The difference of Rankine cycle and the regeneration cycle is in the regeneration cycle it is having one regenerator where it is interacting steam and water. By that it is increasing the thermal efficiency of the cycle. This is a class of regeneration. Thank you for listening. I'm closing this class. Thank you for listening.